Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, we're going to talk about these comments that were sent to me that I heard from Kevin Durant. Shout out to Baller305 for sending me this. I guess Kevin Durant was interviewed by Sports Illustrated, and he had some comments to say about why he doesn't, he doesn't feel like he has anything left to prove because he got two Finals MVPs. And a lot of people like me, a lot of you guys out there, we say we don't respect Kevin Durant's Finals MVPs or his championships. So yes, on paper, Kevin Durant, 2 Finals MVPs, 2-time champion on paper. Similar to LeBron James on paper. These guys are paper champions. No one respects Kevin Durant's Finals MVPs. They're fraudulent, man. He knows they're fraudulent. That's why he comes out on Twitter all the time and starts crying and moaning when people call him out for that stuff. That's why his mom had to come out and cry and moan for her son because of that punk movie he made and no one respects him. So I guess in this interview, they asked him about the 2 MVPs, and if he feels like he has something to prove in Houston, that he has to lead a team to a championship because he's never done that, right? And they asked him about that, and he said he don't got nothing to prove, and he said a bunch of weird things because Kevin Durant's a weird guy, man. And we all know that Kevin Durant is all sensitive all the time. And like I said, for him to try to say, or the things that he said in response to this question, laughable to me, man. And we're going to talk about this video, guys. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world. Everyone across the states has been supporting my channel. You guys know I am truly humbled, man, for real. It means a lot. Shout out to everybody in the membership. Everyone that comes through the live streams. Like I said, you guys on Instagram send me messages. People email me. All this stuff, guys. It means a lot. Thank you very much. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, we're going to talk about these comments from Kevin Durant. Now, maybe you guys haven't heard these comments. Like I said, I just found out about them. Shout out to Baller305, like I said, for sending me the clip of this interview, Q&A or whatever they were. I think it was Sports Illustrated, if I remember what it was. And, different people or different, websites, pages have posted this clip of Kevin Durant. And like I said, they're asking him about his, what he wants to do in Houston, his career, his legacy, and if he feels that he has something to prove outside of Golden State, which I think we all agree. This man definitely got something to prove. He can say he ain't got nothing to prove all he wants. That's great. Deep down inside, Kevin Durant knows he ain't prove a damn thing. You're never going to be mentioned with the great players that way because you were never that guy. That's why I laugh when he goes back and forth with Charles Barkley. The Charles Barkley level, man. All right? We could talk about Charles Barkley. He could clown Charles Barkley, Kevin Durant, for saying he ain't got no championship rings. Yeah, my man, because Kevin Durant, Charles Barkley didn't play against LeBron James in the finals. He played against Michael Jordan in the finals, my man. You would have no rings if you played against Michael Jordan in the finals. Charles Barkley didn't have a luxury of going against a primetime choker like LeBron James, man. He didn't have that luxury. Once again, Charles Barkley didn't have to team up with another great player of the same era to go out there and win a championship, did he? Not in the primes. No, he did not. Kevin Durant joined Steph Curry, and they both came in with a year apart. I believe Kevin Durant came in the year before, maybe 2 years before Steph Curry. Then he came in the 2008 season. Steph Curry came in the 2010 season. So essentially, they came in the same damn time, man. All right, so this is not the same thing. He's talking about Charles Barkley. You look like a clown when you go at Charles Barkley, man, because Charles Barkley was a true, legit competitor. And like I said, if Charles Barkley played LeBron James in the finals, he'd have a championship on his resume. But anyway, let's go to what Kevin Durant was asked. Right, this is what they asked Kevin Durant, and this is his response, guys. And then we're going to break it down because this man is a clown. So they ask him this. Like the person who's doing the interview, whoever this is, off camera, they ask him. Or they say this: Kobe had a chip on his shoulder to win without Shaq. Do you have a chip on your shoulder to win outside of Golden State? And they were asking him, to win without Steph Curry, essentially. Do you feel like the same way as Kobe Bryant felt that he needed to prove that he could lead a team, that he could win without Shaquille O'Neal? And he talked about Kobe Bryant having a chip on his shoulder. But now, to me, this is not a fair comparison or an equal comparison. Because, like I just mentioned, Steph Curry came in 2 years after Kevin Durant. So essentially, they're in the same era. The 2010s is their era. All right? They both went to college. That's not the same dynamic between Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant came out of high school. But Shaquille O'Neal was in the NBA, what, 4 years before Kobe Bryant got to the NBA. So there's a dynamic there. Once again, when Shaq came in, he was already ready to go, Shaquille O'Neal. When Kobe Bryant came in the NBA, he came in high school. He had to earn his starting spot. Kevin Durant had to earn his starting spot. We all know Steph Curry came in and had some ankle issues, but he was a guy that didn't have to earn anything essentially as far as a starter goes. He didn't have to sit behind these guys like Monte Ellis and some of these other dudes. Steph Curry was out there, like I said, came out of college and had a reputation. Same thing for Kevin Durant, had a reputation. Kobe Bryant didn't have a reputation like that. Coming out of high school, he had to develop this, which is why he was behind Eddie Jones for a couple of years. So I don't really get the comparison between Kobe and Shaq or the dynamic and Steph and Kevin Durant. It wasn't the same dynamic at the time that they came together. Just wasn't. And once again, when you bring up, well, let's read Kevin Durant's response here. Here's what he says. If I went out there for the Warriors and wasn't Finals MVP like Kobe was with Shaq, and had moments where I didn't average 30 a game and have 7 or 8 assists or have a 14-point night and hit big shots, I would say, yeah, I need to prove that I can do that on that level. But I did that on that level. That's what he said. He continues to say something else. But let's break this down, what he says here. So he says, if I went out there for the Warriors and wasn't Finals MVP, once again, Kevin Durant going to keep living on that Finals MVP, right? I was Finals MVP. He was the Finals MVP. Great for Kevin Durant for the stats he got, which helped him garner a Finals MVP award. So he says, if I wasn't the Finals MVP like Kobe was with Shaq. So once again, the dynamic between Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, especially 2000, ain't the same dynamic between Steph Curry and Kevin Durant in 2017. Steph Curry had already won an MVP. I mean, Kobe Bryant wasn't an MVP caliber player at the time. He was developing into this. Steph Curry had already won an MVP. Already an MVP. Back-to-back MVPs. As a matter of fact, Kevin Durant. And then you came to the team. I don't remember Kobe Bryant asking for a trade or requesting a trade or just going to the Lakers to team up with Shaq. He was drafted to this team out of high school, Kevin Durant. I don't get why this guy asked him this question. Like, I get what he was trying to ask about the chip on the shoulder. I get that part. But when you bring up the Kobe-Shaq dynamic, it's not the same thing, guys. Not even close. Not even close. Like I said, Kobe Bryant did not win an MVP until after Shaquille O'Neal left. After Shaquille O'Neal. Did Kevin Durant win an MVP after Golden State? He hasn't won an MVP after Golden State, has he? No. Steph Curry has 2 MVPs before Kevin Durant even joined him. So this wasn't like you joined Steph Curry when he was still developing or he was dealing with the ankle problems in 2012, 2013. And you're like, hey, man, I'm going to join this guy Curry because I see he's got some potential and I think we can do something. I'm going to get away from this guy, Russell Westbrook. He didn't do that. He did not do that. He joined Steph Curry when he was already the established superstar of the NBA. The first unanimous MVP, which doesn't really mean anything, but he was. And he was back-to-back MVPs. Shaq didn't win back-to-back MVPs. We can talk about Shaq and how many MVPs he probably should have got. Same thing with Kobe Bryant, but we get all this stuff. That's why the MVPs are not the A-all, B-all in these conversations. You like how I got that in there. So I don't really agree with the comparisons between Shaquille O'Neal and the Kobe Bryant, the dynamic between Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. It was not the same. Also, remember, Shaquille O'Neal was not winning anything. He left to L.A. So essentially, Shaquille O'Neal ran away like Kevin Durant ran away. He ran away from Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls in the East. People forget to mention this stuff. And what was Shaq doing without Kobe Bryant? Shaq goes to the Lakers in 1997 season, guys, and they get beat in both times in the play. And remember, in 98, they got swept by the Utah Jazz that everyone keeps saying is a trash team. They got swept by them, even though Shaq played with 3 other All-Stars that season. So Shaq was struggling to win, right, to make an NBA Finals. He made who'd he have? He had Penny Hardaway when he made there, right, and got swept. But he was struggling to win a championship, been in the league all these years now. Because why? Because Shaquille O'Neal. Because Shaquille O'Neal doesn't have that defensive impact like that, make the players around him better like that. He wasn't a clutch time performer in certain scenarios, right? Because of his foul problems, the free throw line. These were handicaps for Shaquille O'Neal. All right, and then as we started talking about the late 90s, Shaquille O'Neal starts to become lazy. He's not doing the same things he was doing in Orlando. But Shaquille O'Neal couldn't win. He needed the development of Kobe Bryant. When Kobe Bryant started to become an all-defensive team kind of guy, a guy who could play on both sides of the ball, a clutch-time performer, come through for you in those big-time moments. Before that, Shaq couldn't win anything. Steph Curry was winning. He won. He led his team to a championship. People could say that Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love was hurt. I can say the same thing in 2016. The Warriors would have been back-to-back champs if the no Draymond Green suspension, Andrew Bogut got hurt, so we can make excuse all we want. No excuses. Steph Curry was a back-to-back MVP and a champion before Kevin Durant even got there. That wasn't the same dynamic between Shaq and Kobe. No dynamic like that at all. He says, if I had moments where I didn't average 30, who gives a damn about you averaging 30? Averaging 30, that's all you do. That's the only thing you can do is hit shots. Once again, Kevin Durant talking about the stats he put up. Oh, if I didn't average 30, I have a 40-point game, or I have 7, 8 assists. Dude, you're talking about the numbers you're putting up when everyone's watching Steph Curry. When Steph Curry, everyone's game playing for Steph Curry. You're going to sit there and act as if Steph Curry ain't helping you get these open shots. You're going to sit there and act like you were just out there putting up 30 because everybody was focused on you and you were carrying the Warriors offensively. My man, you need to stop this. Stop this right now. You sound crazy. This entire clip was cringe as hell. What he was saying. He read off his stats. You went the LeBron James route to explain why you don't have anything to prove. You didn't explain it good here at all, Kevin Durant. Instead of anything, you're just showing how you do have more to prove. He continues and says this. I never looked at Steph like Shaq, and I'm Kobe. I felt like we were our own new thing. He proved he could play on that level, and I proved I could play on that level. You proved you can play. See, no one said, Kevin Durant, that you can't play on that level. No one ever said that. Anyone, right? You put me on the Golden State Warriors. I look good out there on that team. No one ever said you couldn't play at that level. We talked about you couldn't get to that level and lead a team over the hump. That's what we're talking about. You can put up 30. You can get 6 or 7 assists. Great for you, Kevin Durant. You can drop 40 in the game. Great for you. But you're not going to lead a team, take a team to a finals, and, like I said, and get them over the hump. You ain't going to be that dude. You've never been that dude. You have many, many chances to do that. When Kevin Durant was in OKC, this dude was playing with the who's who of talent. Who's who of talent, guys. Go look at the rosters when Kevin Durant was there. Look at the damn rosters. Look at them. All kinds of talent on that team, man. All kinds of players played on that team when Kevin Durant was there. We know the names like Westbrook and Harden, but you had Steven Adams, the Ibakas, right? You had big body guys on the team. You had guys who could play defense for you, Andre Roberson and Thabo Sefolosha, right? These guys that can lock dudes up, that can take the burden off of Kevin Durant because he ain't playing no damn defense, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant can rebound. So you had guys to do the rebounding, to guys to play the defense, right? And Kevin Durant, all you gotta do is make shots, right? Like he says, all you gotta do is make shots. It's about making shots. He never did it. And now we know why, because he didn't take defense seriously. He was never a leader. I mean, think about if your leader has that kind of mentality. He ain't a leader, Kevin Durant. Never been a leader, Kevin Durant. Never. So this is part of the reason why you can't lead a team anywhere. But he's talking about, I never looked at Steph like Shaq or I'm like Kobe. It's not the same dynamic. Once again, like I said, do you guys realize that they played 3 seasons together, right? 2017, 2018, 2019. 2 of those 3 years, Steph Curry finished above Kevin Durant in MVP voting. 2 of the 3 years, Steph Curry finished above Kevin Durant in MVP voting, guys. So I don't know what the hell we're talking about. And the 1 year that he didn't was the 1 year, 2018, where Steph Curry missed 20 games or 30 games that season with the injury. So he played 51 games on that year, I believe it was 2018, and he came back, for the playoffs or whatever. But he missed 20, 30 games that season. That's the only reason why he wasn't above Kevin Durant in the MVP voting that season. The other 2 years, he was above Kevin Durant MVP voting, 2017 and 2019, guys. Look at the points per game for Steph Curry, more than Kevin Durant in these years when he was on the team. Now, we know what Kevin Durant was doing in the playoffs, but why is he doing that in the playoffs? Because of the regular season, everyone sees that Steph Curry is the engine that makes that team go. Kevin Durant was a hired gun, someone there that kind of made it a little bit lopsided, ruined the competitive balance of the game of the league. We talked about this lack of competitiveness from Kevin Durant. But when you talk about that dynamic, that's why Kevin Durant was able to do whatever he was doing, because everyone's worried about Steph Curry. Steph Curry's allowing Kevin Durant to have this freedom, have this space to score, to shoot the ball, right? Once again, Kevin Durant ain't got to play no defense like that. And people will say, and I agree, Kevin Durant gave effort on defense in Golden State, right? He was good and solid on defense in Golden State. Where was that defense in OKC? It was nowhere to be found. Where was that defense in Phoenix? Where was that defense in Brooklyn? Where's the defense now? Show me the defense. He's talking about guys bending and sliding feet. He don't believe in defense. So in Golden State, he gave effort on defense. Why? Because it was easy to give effort in Golden State. Because you don't have to worry about giving effort like that on either side of the ball. Everything was coming a lot easier for you. So then you decide to give some effort on the defensive end, but you had guys backing you up. The Draymond Greens, the Klay Thompsons, right? These are the guys that are playing defense, like Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant took advantage of the scenario that he was in. And then they want to give him credit for being a good defensive player. Come on, stop it. Man, been in the league 17 years, ain't made a single all-defensive team. He's in here talking about, yeah, I never looked at Steph like Shaq, and I was Kobe. No, you're right. You're not on that level like that. And once again, Kobe Bryant developed and became a guy that Shaq needed. He needed him because he needed Shaq. Shaq needed him in the closeout, right? In crunch time minutes. He needed him at the end of games. You needed Kobe Bryant on the defensive end, right? You needed this stuff. Kobe Bryant played defense. See, they always want to just talk about the numbers. And they go, oh, Kobe Bryant was averaging, 15 points. Or Kobe Bryant averaged this many points less than Shaq. But Kobe Bryant was playing hellified defense on the perimeter. When you're going against guys like Jalen Rose and the Reggie Millers and the Allen Iversons, the Kerry Kittles, Jason Kidd, he was going against out there on the perimeter of the Nets. So you're going against some of these really great players, really good players. Kobe Bryant was being that dude, playing defense, being aware on defense, being present on defense, and knocking down shots, being a clutch time performer in a lot of these moments. We all remember when Kobe Bryant was, 21 years old in the first championship in 2000? And he came through in the clutch in Indiana. Was that game 3 or something like that, or game 4? It was game 4. Kobe Bryant, when Shaq fouled out. We all know that moment. Kobe Bryant came through 4 or 5 shots in the overtime to lead them. Remember, Kobe Bryant went to relax, to chill. I got this. Kevin Durant had to worry about nothing like this. Steph Curry is out there doing his thing. He ain't fouling out. Oh, Steph Curry can't make free throws at the end of games. Dude's a clown. Like I said, man, Steph Curry was the reason. He was the dynamic one on that team. That's why you went there, fool. Shaq ran away from the East to the West and couldn't do anything until Kobe Bryant developed. Right? It didn't matter that he had Glenn Rice there, Ron Harper, and Rick Fox, and Derek Fisher. All these good players. Shaq couldn't win. Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel. He needed Kobe to develop. Steph Curry won. Steph Curry was a back-to-back MVP without Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, what has he done? Nothing. Nothing without Steph Curry. He has an MVP to his name. So is Russell Westbrook, man. Great for Kevin Durant. So these comments are really weird because Kevin Durant obviously has something to prove. He doesn't think he does, but Kevin Durant's delusional, right? So is his fan base. But I think most people, true basketball fans, don't respect Kevin Durant's 2 MVPs, or Finals MVPs. No one respects that, stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, on paper, you're a champion and a Finals MVP on paper. But like I said, you're nothing without Steph Curry. And it's proven. Kobe Bryant proved he is something without Shaq. See, when you want to say the comparisons, oh, Kobe had a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, he did. That's what made Kobe Bryant greater than a Kevin Durant. That's what made Kobe Bryant a great, great, great player. Was that mentality that he has. Kevin Durant, oh, no, I don't got nothing to prove. I'm Kevin Durant. Kobe Bryant never looked at it that way. He never was like, I'm Kobe. I don't got nothing to prove. I'm Kobe Bryant. Never said that stuff. Kobe Bryant went out there and kept working and working and working. And he told Shaq, if you ain't going to work like I'm working, and I don't want you here with me, I'm not going to play with you. Kevin Durant was like, yo, I can't win with these guys. I'm leaving. I'm not going to be more of a competitor. I'm not going to try to make it work with Russell Westbrook and these other guys. I'm just going to dip out and join the team that beat us. Weird stuff from Kevin Durant. So don't ever compare Kevin Durant to Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. He ain't on that level. He ain't never did. Except with Steph, I tell you, Steph Curry's the greatest player of his era. Kevin Durant ain't better than Steph Curry, man. Like I said, he hasn't done more than Steph Curry. He hasn't been as great as Steph Curry. He hasn't been as consistent as Steph Curry. And Steph Curry dealt with injuries in his career too, man. And this clown Kevin Durant is what Kevin Durant done since outside Golden State, guys. Frail as hell. Missing games, getting hurt, high turnovers, right? Just being a weird, sensitive dude on Twitter, saying weird things. That's Kevin Durant, man. You guys know these are the facts. Kevin Durant got a lot to prove. The problem for Kevin Durant is he ain't never going to be able to prove it. Because even if he does anything in Houston, I'm not impressed. Houston was a number 2 seed last season. And Kevin Durant added to that team. A number 2 seed without Kevin Durant he went to. He didn't go to the 6th seed or the 7th seed, the 8th seed. Same thing when he went to Golden State. He didn't go to Golden State when they were trash. He goes to the Brooklyn Nets, and we thought that's why he was going to Brooklyn. I thought he was going to Brooklyn to prove us all wrong and shut us all up. Go to Brooklyn, take them to an NBA Finals, lead them to a championship. Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Nick Claxton. They had a really good team of good role players on that team too, man. Nothing happened, though. And what do they blame? They blame Kyrie Irving's health or James Harden's health or Kyrie Irving's COVID problems. They'll blame all this stuff. Oh, the foot was on the line. Stop it, man. Kevin Durant's a joke. What he did in Phoenix? He did nothing in Phoenix, and they blame Derek Booker. They blame Bradley Beal. Everyone else gets blamed. They never blame the main superstar player on a team anymore. We don't do this anymore. Meanwhile, they're blaming Michael Jordan for things that have nothing to do with Michael Jordan. Weird stuff out here. Kevin Durant never takes any responsibility or accountability from his fan base. He reading off his stats that he got next to Steph Curry, dude. Next to Steph Curry, with Steph Curry. Like I said, man, Steph Curry finished MVP voting above Kevin Durant in 2 to 3 years they were on the team together. Steph Curry was the reason why Kevin Durant was able to put those stats up. And like I mentioned before, Kevin Durant, my man, you out there going against who? Who are you going against? Who is guarding you? Everyone's watching Steph Curry. They're worried about Steph Curry. They're shading their defense. They're trapping Steph Curry. They're trying to get the ball out of his hands. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're trying to stop Kevin Curry because he's running around with the ball. He's moving all over the place. He allows everyone else to play their game. Kevin Durant's out there, what? Feeding off of the Steph Curry stuff. These are the facts, ladies and gentlemen. These are the facts, man. Steph Curry was the dude that's getting the attention. Kevin Durant acts as if he's out there by himself. I put these numbers. You're going against LeBron James, dude. Kevin Durant, you went against LeBron James in the finals. 2 times. You have 2 champions against LeBron James. That's not impressive. That's why I said if Charles Barkley would have won in 93, it would have been impressive because you beat Michael Jordan. You beat Michael Jordan, dude. Kevin Durant, you didn't play against anybody. Who'd you play against? A dude who was ducking you. LeBron didn't even guard you. You were out there being guarded by Richard Jefferson in 2017, my man. And Jeff Green, Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith. These are the guys that were guarding Kevin Durant in those finals. Every chance LeBron James got to duck screens and switch screens, he did that. That wouldn't have been Michael Jordan. That wouldn't have been Scottie Pippen. You would have to earn that. You didn't earn it, Kevin Durant. You took a shortcut, and everyone knows it. But you're trying to act like you didn't? You took a shortcut, dude. You did. You're a clown. You're not Kobe. You're nowhere close to Kobe. Don't ever mention Kobe Bryant and a chip on his shoulder and this clown Kevin Durant. That's the problem with Kevin Durant. He ain't a competitor like Kobe. He ain't got the mentality of a Kobe. He's soft as hell, not like Kobe. That's why he ain't thinking like Kobe. And he ain't won back-to-back championships like Kobe did without Shaquille O'Neal. Kobe won 2 without Shaq. He finished with 5. Steph Curry got 4 championships, my man. 4. Kevin Durant got 2. So wake me up, Kevin Durant, when you could go and get 2 more just to tie Steph Curry, you clown. But you ain't got nothing to prove because you put up 35 points a game against LeBron James, against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You ain't beat nobody. Like I said, Charles Barkley's Suns went against a dynasty, man. A dynasty in the finals. You tried to create a false dynasty. You jumped on a bandwagon. Weird stuff. Charles Barkley could have won a championship too if he jumped on the Bulls. Could have won a championship on the Bulls. He didn't do that though, right? Because remember, the Bulls beat him in 1990 and in 1991 in the playoffs. His team didn't make the playoffs in 92, and then 93 went to the Suns. So why did Charles Barkley join Michael Jordan in 1991? Or after 1992, why didn't he join the Bulls? Because guys ain't do this kind of stuff. Why did Patrick Ewing ain't join the Bulls after 92? Why he didn't do that? See what I'm saying, man? Why Karl Malone ain't join the Bulls? Or John Stockton joined the Knicks or joined one of these other teams? Right? The Knicks could have used a point guard like John Stockton. Could they not have? Imagine Karl Malone, the Knicks. Put Karl Malone, the Pacers with Reggie Miller. Put John Stockton on the Pacers with Reggie Miller. There's a bunch of teams. What if John Stockton went to the Houston Rockets and played with Hakeem Olajuwon? What if Karl Malone went and played with Hakeem Olajuwon? My goodness. What if Sean Kemp came over and played with the Knicks? Or Gary Payne became the point guard of Chicago Bulls? Imagine that, Jordan, Pippen, and Peyton on the team. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.